been a while since I've talked to you guys last, but had some things happen. This field right here is 40 acres. Sorry about the wind. There's the shop. Was planted on March 28th. That's the first and only time we've ever planted in March. The conditions were pretty good, so we thought, well, what the heck, why not try it? Because there's several of our neighbors who were doing it, so we couldn't be left out. Plus Dad wanted to try some March beans. Like I said, we've never done that before, but so over 2 weeks later, I'm out here digging them up because I don't know if you can see there, over there, over there. We've had like 5 inches of rain. All that came down in about a week, and when those ponds were there, it got down to 25 degrees and the ponds were frozen. So I'm out here digging up some beans. I am not doing a very good job keeping them together, but you can see there, 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 and there. That one I broke, that one I broke, and that one I broke. But so far, I need to do some more digging. They're all alive. Might be one or two here and there that didn't even look like a seed was there, so I don't think that's rotting or anything, but I'm gonna go check in the pond and stuff. This is kind of on the lower part of this field, but for the conditions, they're doing all right. It's actually quite a bit drier here than what I was expecting. Get over there to that darker, a little bit mellower ground. It's still pretty wet, but we're thinking we might be able to hopefully start planting full force here in about 2 days. Today's Monday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday. But like I said, it's been cold, and really wet, but these things are chugging right along. It's supposed to be like 35 tonight, and then really it's supposed to touch 70 once or twice in the next 10 days. Other than that, it's going to be in the 60s during the day, and then getting down even in the 40s still at night, which is unfortunate, but the calendar is saying it's time to plant, so we'll have to see how that goes. Like I said, it's been a while since I talked to you guys last. I had about a half a video recorded. I actually got another piece of equipment for myself, but I'll have to redo that because all the footage kind of got goofed up. I was unable to do it, and we had a little bit of footage planting, and that still got goofed up too. But like I said, 40 acres here, that's planted. This was worked 1st of March, planted the end of March. As you can see, we've got some weeds kind of coming up, which we knew what was going to happen. The plan is just to spray down a contact killer with our residual. So actually still have to spray residual on these, which is fine because they're still, if I put this across here, the gap right there, about an inch and a half, so we still got time to spray residual on these. And I'm not sure what we're going to do on the other corn stalks that we got worked down. Like I said, we got almost half of our cornstalk acres worked down. If we're going to rework that or just spray it and plant it like we did. It seemed to work all right spraying it, it seemed to work all right planting into it from what we had worked there the three weeks before that. But I'm gonna go around and check out some other spots. Well, I've dug in 4 spots so far. I'm gonna do one more spot kind of in the ground in between the light and the dark stuff that's in this field, but I bet you we have at least, I've yet to find a rotten seed, so I hate to say 100%, but probably at least 95%, I guess germ, you could say, be the correct word for it. So Dad was getting all worried. He said he wasn't even going to come out here and dig, which really you won't know until they start coming up through the ground and come out here and get a proper count, because you miss some digging and whatnot. But everything's looking good. Like I said, I'm gonna dig in one more spot, and then I'm probably gonna pull some equipment out and get it ready to drag down to my south farm, and all of our other stuff up here is ready to go. Equipment I gotta take down there is ready to go too. I just gotta get it there. So I'm impressed, happy, thankful, all the above. Dad and I did some driving around in the Ranger, and we're thinking we might do a little piddling around tomorrow, potentially really lightly work some ground. Maybe either this 40 here, that 40 over there. We do have about 30 acres across the road that's quite a bit lighter ground, but it's also sandier. so it's not holding the moisture quite as good as this darker mucky stuff. But figured I could show you guys my new to me spring tillage tool. It's a John Deere 724. Yes, more green paint. Came with new disc blades. I put all new sweeps on it, 9-inch sweeps, and then it's got this coil tine harrow. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. We think it could have the tendency to drag up, but probably 75% of these John Deere 724s that were on Tractor House or anywhere really had these coil tine harrows, so I guess they seem to work all right. But here it is in all its glory. Nothing special. Do have a little bit of a hydraulic leak, just the ends of the hoses are leaking, but this is what I'm going to be using. Should hopefully work all right. I wanted something with front disc blades to help chop up any weeds or the corn stalks I had to leave unworked. So I really would have liked a till all, but couldn't find the width I needed for the price I wanted. So this should work all right. Nothing too special, just sweeps, disc blades, and then the coil tine harrow. So depending on what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, I may drag it down there tomorrow and check out everything. I know it's getting kind of weedy, the corn stalks are, so I might have to have that sprayed, but we'll see. And then also depends on what we're going to be doing around here. Maybe working some ground tomorrow as well, and maybe spraying some 32. We'll just have to see. A lot's going to start happening. So if I don't see you guys tomorrow, I will see you on Wednesday. Finally back at it. I didn't get started till probably 2 o'clock this afternoon. We really weren't in that big of a hurry because we were trying to decide what we're going to do with this, well, what we got basically. We decided to go ahead and leave this quote-unquote stale seed bed, the stalks that we worked down earlier in March. As you can see, there's weeds here. So what we're gonna do tomorrow is get our residual like we normally would, and then get some contact killer and toss that in. So I'll go ahead and dig up a few things, kind of show you guys what we're dealing with. The soil conditions are actually on top are really, really nice, but it's been so cold that we got about 1.5 to 2 inches of dry dirt. Once you get below that, it starts getting pretty moist. So doing this stale seed bed is really working out pretty well, because if we were gonna have to work this, we'd probably have to wait till Friday. Today is Tuesday. So this gets us pretty good jump start. There's 60 acres here, and then another 30 up the road that we might do tonight, and kind of see what tomorrow brings. But let's see if we can't find some beans. Probably won't hardly be able to see it, but there's one there. Can't see that one. There's one there, and I just uncovered another one there. And you can't see because of the shadow, but they're actually a little deep than when we started. I'll go dig up a couple more areas, but they're at about 2 inches. I'd like to see them maybe about, I don't know, 1.5 inches. So this field, I mean, it's not perfectly smooth. You can see there's a little variation. Like, look here, here's a couple that are just right on top of the ground because it's kind of a hole. So I mean, it's probably all right. I'll do a little bit of digging. Obviously we don't want to see them on top of the ground, but that was kind of the exception. So just walking along here, looks all right. But I'll do some more digging. Maybe have to adjust a little bit. He's about done really, so I'll dig some more, then go from there. After some more digging, I'd say their average is just shy of 2 inches, which is pretty good. Can maybe go a 1/4 inch less, but like I said, this ground does have a little bit of variation in it just because it's all settled down and whatnot. It did have 4 inches of rain on it in about 5 days, so that's got everything packed down pretty good. So that's actually, I think, works out all right, because sometimes whenever you work stuff up, it gets really mellow, and then stuff just really gets mashed down, especially like the tire tracks and stuff where the planter runs over the front planted row. But these conditions are really nice, like I said, so we are expecting some rain this weekend. Don't know how much we're gonna get. I don't think it's supposed to be a whole lot, but still really not supposed to be all that warm. It's only supposed to touch 70 a few days, or like 2 days in the next 10 days, so we'll see how that goes. But we actually found a tile hole we gotta go fix, so we're gonna go do that this evening and then see what tomorrow brings. I don't know if we're gonna plant any corn tomorrow or not. We might, but we'll see. Well, leave it to me to bring the camera, get distracted, get to work, and then half the work's done. You can see, got a decent little chunk dug up here. There's a patch there that's plastic. We've gotten back to there, that's decent, and this is all old clay tile. This is either 10 or 12 inch. Got to get a measurement once we get it all busted out, but he's just busting up the stuff. That way we can get it shoveled out of there and then get a measurement on the length, like I said, the diameter. So we want to hurry up and get this done, because I think we're going to spray this with 32% tomorrow and then get it worked in, and then depending on the weather, get it planted. So gotta hurry up and get this done. It's now 5:30, so if we don't have any of the size that we need on hand, we'll have to wait till the morning to go buy some. But should be no problem once we get what we need, get that just shoved back down in there and the hole filled in. Well, how the turntables have, well, you know the rest. Okay, so hereabouts was the hole that we found. Went this way, found a previous patch which we knew was coming up. Got back to here, the clay was junk, kept going, and then we hit that chunk of concrete. We're like, well, that could be a couple of things. So we went back this way, found nothing. Well, what that concrete was a cap off this piece right here. So obviously we are here and the edge of the field is there. So this is literally draining 25 foot. I don't really know what's that way, but not much, because there's a road right there about 65 yards, and then this just goes right into it. So what we're gonna do is smash the rest of this down. We've got some stuff to go between that concrete and we'll go right up against that plastic and make another cap, and hopefully that will be the end of our issues. We don't own this land, so obviously if we did, we'd be doing things a little bit different, but this does have a little bit of tile issue just right here in this corner, so it's not a huge deal, but this will be good enough for now. And this corner's not really that wet anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So we're gonna get this plugged, or capped I should say. Luke's just filling up the planter again, may go plant 30 acres tonight. Dad's piddling around with some some weeds on some bean stubble that's gonna be going into corn hopefully tomorrow. And we'll kind of see where the night brings us. Shouldn't really have much more to do, but if anything comes up, I'll let you guys know, but if not, I'll plan on seeing you tomorrow. Well, good morning, everyone. Taking off in the planter, bean planter, to go plant some beans. We're only going about 3/4 of a mile from the farm. So nothing too far, kind of getting a little bit of a later start this morning. It's about 9:30. Had to fill the planter, got the sprayer out, went and got a load of 32% UAN, spraying on the 80 acres that are around the shop, so we can plant some corn here in a bit. So Jonathan just got done with the first 40, he moved on to the next 40 just as I was leaving. Luke's gonna hop in the one of the tillage tractors, start working that in, and Dad'll be here about any time. He had a appointment this morning he had to get to, so hopefully everything starts going well. I know Luke will probably take a while to get his planter all dialed in. It'll take him all day to plant that 80 acres, but that's just what happens when you first get started. So I'll get over here and get things going. I've got one number of beans in now, and then we're gonna plant it out, and then I'll have to refill, put in a different number. Luke wanted to do a side by side, so that's fine. Got the seed tender moved over here, and then once that runs out, hopefully that'll be about 40 acres that'll be able to get done, and the rest of it will be what I got on there. So it was cool this morning. It's 48 now, but it was about 35 at 6 a.m., which is plenty chilly, but I think that's the coolest it's supposed to be for a while. However, the weatherman is not being too nice to us, and we're expecting like upwards of 2.5 inches of rain this weekend. So we probably won't go too hog wild with corn, I would assume. Beans, we'll probably just keep knocking them out as much as you can, or as we can, because we saw the cold weather definitely did not affect them, which we knew it wouldn't too much, but corn's a bit pickier. So I don't know, we'll just kind of play it by ear with that, but we'll get going, and I'll probably get out and do some digging after I get going. So. Okay, I'm off and running now. Got my ends done and starting on the long rows now. I don't know if you can see too well right there, and then a couple spots over there, some smoke, and the black spots right there. Whenever we had that large amount of rain, we did have some stalks pile up, so Luke came over here and start those on fire. Hopefully get most of them burned off by the time I get over there, and even if not, this planter will go through it, but then it'll hopefully keep burning if I have to go over it, and then get those burned off. That way the beans can come up nicely, because sometimes if they get too much those stalks on there, the soil will stay cold and damp, and then the beans don't want to emerge quite well. We do have some over there on the other field that we planted back in March. Those beans are still underground, so it'll be all right to burn those off. But looks like Dad has got the tillage tool, one of the tillage tools out now, working in that 32 that Jonathan's been spraying on. And then Jonathan took off. I'm guessing he just went across the road. But I'm gonna get out here on this next pass when we start coming back this way and do some depth checking. Should be perfectly fine. This field is basically the exact same soil conditions as what we were on yesterday, and same tillage practice. We worked it out early and haven't worked it since, so everything should be good to go. But I'll just get out and do some double checking. There's one there, there, and there. That's just the rows that haven't been run over by the mainframe tire tracks. But obviously there's only 4 of those, but I'll check those real quick and see what they look like. The other stuff, what I just dug up looks good, so what I figured, but never hurts to double check. Let's check these mainframes. Mainframe looks good. We want those to be just a little bit shallower than the rest of the planter, just because they get packed down on top by the tire tracks, and so that's less hard dirt that they got to go through. So looks good. I'm gonna keep plugging away. Here's some of these stalks I was telling you about. Some of them burning off not too bad. Other spots are not too great, but better than nothing, I guess. At least we can say we tried. But I think some of them will probably keep burning. Let it run over, but this thing's actually moving them out way pretty good. This planter does not have row cleaners on it. It does have the no-till coulters, which does help, but I don't know. We're thinking about, for our next bean planter, throwing around the idea of a 20-inch bean planter, and then having row cleaners on every row. Don't know if that will make a difference or not, but it seems like a lot of guys are going to 20-inch beans, and we also would like the idea of having a high-speed planter with belts and stuff. That way we can get, supposedly guys are saying that singulation on beans is next thing in the yield bump, but I don't know. We'll see. Probably won't be doing anything for a little while because crop prices are not very good, and this thing's doing mighty fine. This would be the 10th season with it, so it's been a good planter. Well, I just got that 68 acres wrapped up. I'm pulling back in here to the shop now. Gonna get a game plan. I'm either gonna go to, I got 90 acres right there on that side of the road, or got 30 that are, it's about 2 miles up the road. We do have, there's my call right there. We do have the beans already in the tender for that 30 because that's where we thought we were gonna go first thing this morning, but we ended up switching some stuff around. So probably gonna go there, could be wrong. Well, actually, we got 2 compartments in that tender. The other compartment's got a little bit of dab left of the same bean that's gonna go across this road, so it's really kind of up in the air, but I'll get pulled back in here and figure out what we're gonna do. Filling her up. Gotta do this side yet, but gonna run up the road to that 30 acres I was telling you guys about. It's been a few minutes since I last talked to you. I had to actually hop in the truck and go pick Jonathan up, pick him up from the sprayer, bring him back up to the tanker. He's pinning himself today, so well, he wanted to keep that ahead on the tillage tractor, working in that 32%. So I'm gonna fill this up, go plant that 30, come back, and start on that at least. So I'm gonna put 800 pounds on each side. Well, we've got a bit of a problem-ish, depending on who you ask. I had gone all the way around the field once, and I was coming back around it for my second pass, and I lost GPS. Great. So I didn't have my marker down because I was using my auto steer to go around the outside of the field because we had that marked. So I hurry up, kick my marker out, and try to keep straight with what I'd already planted. And of course, we're right out here next to the highway, so everyone's gonna see my squiggly line along there, but whatever. So it kicked out basically on the other end of the field, planted all the way back down to this end, and it still didn't kick back on, so I shut the tractor off and just kicked it back on. So we're gonna sit here and see what happens. I'm gonna give it probably, sometimes this takes a bit, probably 15 minutes, and if nothing comes of it, I'm gonna go back over there to that side since I kicked my marker out when I was coming back over there, and just go over there, I guess. I've done so I've got both my end-rows done. I've done a round on each side now, so I wanted to start here on this side and see, I've planted just one pass right there. Hopefully it kicks back on. I'll just keep going right here, but if not, I'll go over there to my marker trail. Like I said, go figure, literally right next to the highway where everyone will see the squiggliness, but what are you gonna do about it? My radio that we talk to each other on the farm is not getting best of service either, so I don't know if a little blip happened or what. Well, this happened last year when the solar flares were going on the sun, and then also we were able to see the northern lights clear down here. But our radio still worked fine, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I haven't tried anyone on it, but like I said, we'll give us a few minutes and then see what happens. Back and running now. Don't really know what happened. Waited about 10, 12 minutes and it came back, so who knows? I didn't hear anything else from the other guys, so they must not have had that problem. Must have just been something with my system, but back up and going now, so that's good. Well, a bit of change of plans per usual. I'm not going to do that, plant that 90 that's just across the road from the shop. It still had a few wet spots in it. So I'm actually in the tanker now, going to Nutrient to get a load of bean chemical. I'm going to spray 40 acres, the 40 acres that we planted back in March tonight. And then that's all we're going to spray tonight because we're going to put a contact killer in, and we don't want to be spraying that in the dark. And it's going to be dark here before too long, so I'm just going to go get a small load for that, and then either after we get that sprayed off or first thing in the morning get the rest of the bean chemical and spray tomorrow. So Jonathan's probably about back to the shop with a sprayer, and we're gonna go take the bean planter across the river south of Hinesboro to some corn stalks we got there, but that needs to be worked down, so got to get worked ahead of it. We'll probably get started on it, or we will get started on it tonight, and hopefully be able to start planting first thing in the morning. So we'll see what the rest of the evening brings. I just got back here to the shop with another load from Nutrien. Luke's out here getting ready to take off. Just about a mile and a half down the road to an 80 we got down there, get started on it. He probably won't do a whole lot tonight. It's only about, not quite 8:30, but we're not gonna go too late tonight. Like I said, just got back with another load of chemical from Nutrien to spray out in the morning. Probably not gonna spray too late tomorrow just because it's gonna start getting windy and don't wanna have stuff going everywhere. So Dad and Jonathan are on the way over there to north of Raritan. Got one 80 that's further north. We call it the North 80 because it's basically almost the northernmost field over there. And Jonathan's going basically straight west of that, about a mile to 120 on corn stalks. So we'll get this bean chemical sprayed out in the morning and switch back over to 32 and hopefully knock out several hundred acres of 32 and then get some beans in the ground and then ready for chemical. Probably we don't have to spray it tomorrow. Maybe wait till Friday and see what all the rain does. So I think that's where I'm going to end this video, guys. I do appreciate you watching, and we'll see you at the next one.